What's going on, guys, and welcome back to DSG, and we're back here today for my DSA journey episode 5 featuring Peparonie. Peparonie, how you doing, man?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you on. And for those of you guys who don't know Pep, I know you guys, a lot of you are my YouTube crowd, so if you guys don't know, he's on Twitch, and he streams DSA, MSF, and just gives some really cool veteran insight into these games, and just super chill, and great jokes and everything like that. And his Twitch chat is pretty popping, so definitely check him out. His links gonna be down below, guys, and you can give him all love and support on his Twitch stream. But with that said, Pep, I kind of understand where Peparonie comes from, but when did become your full persona in the whole gaming sphere, DSA and stuff like that?
Well, it all started a long time ago. My little sister started calling me Pep. So my other siblings and cousins would call me that to make fun of me because my baby sister was saying it, right? So it kind of stuck with me. Everybody at school started calling me that. And, it was just my nickname. And one of my uncles, he started calling me Peparonie. So I was like, all right, cool. So he added to it. And then next thing you know, I'm on Twitch trying to make a name. I was like, what am I going to call myself? It's like, I don't want to just say Pep. That looks kind of weird. So I went with Peparonie. And I mean, who doesn't love pepperoni pizza, right? So
Exactly. And I mean, it
was
fits
a win-win.
well. It totally fits well, and I mean, it definitely has become a great persona in the whole DSA community, and I just think it's super cool. And I always, whenever I see your stream loading and stuff like that, I'm like, man, I want some pizza now.
I want some pizza.
But I know you're an MSF streamer, and but how did you find out DSA, and I mean, why did you start playing DSA?
I was playing. I played another game for a long time. Another mobile game called War Dragons.
Okay.
And another friend of mine started streaming it, Like a Dream.
Yes.
So it was me, her, and like 3 other streamers that all streamed War Dragons or just hung out with each other.
I see.
And then we all started playing MSF. So we had our whole little group. We started playing MSF, and MSF kind of was in a bad spot for a little bit, like right when DSA came out. So we were kind of looking for another game to play. And DSA was, just like MSF as far as, 5 versus 5 and turn style, gameplay and stuff. So we got all of our other friends to start DSA with us also. So that's how it all started. And I mean, we just got addicted from there.
And I mean, I like put my feet into MSF like the beginning of this year. I'm a super noob. I don't take it as serious, but when you started playing DSA and you're talking about a little controversy at MSF, I'm just kind of curious on my end. Was it like when the red orbs and stuff started getting like really hectic, or what was like the big thing at that time in MSF?
The big thing was they were doing they were calling it a fix MSF. So a lot of the streamers, I don't know if you're familiar with like Tony Scungilli and
yeah, I've heard of Tony.
Those big guys. But yeah, so the game was in a bad spot. The players weren't happy, and basically they kind of went on like a little mini strike type deal.
Interesting.
And yeah, so Tony, I was watching his videos all the time for MSF, and he was recommending DSA, like, everybody play this game, like, it'll help you take your mind off of MSF while we're trying to get our mission accomplished. And then I really have to say it's Like a Dream's fault, because she begged me for I don't know how long. Just play the game, come on. I jumped on, and then we got all our other friends on, and you know, because MSF was in a bad spot, like it kind of forced us all into it,
Yeah.
which I am thankful for. So yeah.
And I mean, now I'm just curious for MSF. From then till like today, has it gotten better?
MSF, yeah,
Yeah,
a lot better, a
a
lot
lot better. It's
better.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, DSA, obviously we've had, you know, our ups and downs too, and you're never going to evade those things, but I don't think DSA has gotten to that point yet in anything that they've done, but you can never say never, of course. But I'm glad MSF is definitely in a better spot because obviously that is the Marvel version of DSA. For those guys who don't know what MSF is, it's the Marvel version of DSA, just like Swaga is the Star Wars version of DSA.
yeah.
So, what was the first solid team you remember using? And actually, I guess when exactly did you start playing? Was it like, were you a beta player or like just an early game player when it first launched?
Yeah, I started maybe like a month before global launch, so I was in there a little bit during the beta.
Oh, nice.
Um, One of the things that turned me on uh, for DSA was how easy it was to farm in the beginning. Like I, all I had to do was my dailies.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and I was progressing very well. And it's like, hey man, easy peasy. Like
Yeah,
why not? So I really like that about it, especially during the beta. I think it's gone a little bit the opposite way now after global launch.
yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
so
I mean, totally. Because I mean, I I know like global launch, it was definitely different than what it was today. I think back then the Incredibles and like the Kingdom was obviously the biggest team. There was no Frozen for a lot of the new people out there. And when we was talking about like progression in terms of the game, like farming and stuff, MSF doesn't have like grand campaign farming. It's all elite battles. And I don't know about you, Pep, but I would say that MSF, like the drop rates from what I've experienced so far, is like feels pretty bad
yeah, the
compared to
drop
like
rates are
DSA.
yeah. That's why I liked DSA uh, so much was because like I was used to farming in MSF, and then now I have my downtown villains team at 5-star gear tier 5 in like a week. Like what? My whole team's like ready to battle. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. So I'm one of those downtown villains guys. Was my first team.
That was your first team. So I just give respect for everyone. Like, what was that? What was your team makeup for that downtown villains team?
I was chasing after Zerg,
Mm-hmm.
so I was just using Doctor Facilier. I used Jangles, not Pete, and then BBW.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Yu, I was using Sean Yu in there
Mm-hmm.
instead of somebody else. Man, I don't even
Mona.
remember now. Demona, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Demona was one of my my favorite characters in the beginning. Just because I've always loved gargoyles and I seen Demona was in there, I was like, oh man, this game just keeps getting better. But yeah, so Demona, BBW, uh, Syndrome, I
Oh,
would
Syndrome.
swap
Yeah.
in and out. Yeah, Jangles, and then I was chasing after Zerg.
And what's your Zerg at right now?
My Zerg right now is 6-star.
Okay.
6-star gear 5, I think. I left him there. I ditched him after Frozen came out.
Oh yes. That power creep with Frozen was pretty big. So I mean, I don't,
Oh
I,
yeah, big time.
I don't blame you. But I kind of feel bad for my boy Zerg because he has not been seen since October, and we're approaching like 6 months since he's been last in the game, or at least the Queen of Hearts event. So
Uh-huh.
kind of feeling bad for my guy there. He needs some love for sure. I want to see him because my Zerg is like super weak. I want to see him again, but he's just I don't know
Yeah,
what they're doing.
Zerg was the first thing I ever spent money on mobile game wise.
Ah,
So
okay.
I bought his pack to unlock him,
That was worth it, I would
and
think.
yeah, oh, that's how much I was like in love with DSA at the time. It was like, you know what? Like I never done this before, but I'm gonna give these guys 50 of my dollars because I want Zerg.
And
So
he was a
I
good
did that.
character.
Yeah, he was at the time. He was, pretty much the best character in the game.
Hmm.
Him, Dash, and I think BBW
Yeah.
were like the best at that point,
You know,
along with Sean Yu.
Mordu was a tank everyone had.
Mordu was really good. Yeah, I still don't have him unlocked.
Guilty, me too.
Yeah, I left him there. Poor Mordu.
um, but yeah, I mean that just kind of shows you guys how much DSA has changed in roughly a year, because we're about to hit 1 year in the game in just about 2 weeks. So that's just how fast this game has changed. I mean, no one talks about, Mordu. No one talks about really those other characters we just discussed. Zerg is still kind of there because there's Gear 8, but, that's only if people were able to get them before. It's not like the Zerg bundle is there all the time. But just kind of cool
Yeah.
perspective. I guess my next question for you is, what were your first thoughts on DSA? And we've kind of been answering this, but how has DSA also changed in the year that you've been playing it?
My first thoughts were, where you been all my life? I loved it. Loved it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, changes. I like everything that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they're adding a lot more events and stuff for us to do.
Yeah.
They're coming out with the leaderboards pretty soon,
Mm-hmm.
so that's awesome. The only thing that I wish they would really do is like balance out the gear and stuff with how many characters we have.
Yes, that is a
There's a
big
ton of
issue.
characters, but I mean it takes time to, you kind of have to focus farm to be able to use some of these characters, especially like
Yeah.
at at my level where I can't use them unless they're gear tier gear tier 6 minimum, 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
I agree.
So yeah, I think that would be a much wanted change.
Mm-hmm. Because I was
But yeah.
in I was in the same boat. Well, I mean, I'm in the same boat with you, because like I unlocked Beast when he came back around. Got him 7 stars. I mean, everything like that. But it took me about a week or so to get him to gear tier 6, just because it does take a little bit of time. And even then, it was kind of hard to use him. I had to put a stone on him just to give him a little boost on health. And now I'm just one piece away from gear tier 8, and luckily because of double drops, I've been able to get lucky with that, basically. So I mean, that, like I said, that's just all the RNG associated with that is the only reason why I'm close to getting him there. But I mean, Beast was here in like what, January, and it's taking me this long. Granted, I've been also farming like big the Hercules team and the Sensational 6 team has kind of taken my gear focus away a little bit, but besides that, it did take a while. um but what club are you a part of right now, and how did you find your club?
Right now I am on Edna mode and guest.
Okay, nice. I didn't know that.
Love that team. Love the team. I was leading another club prior to this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just became too much work. And a little bit before I decided that, it was too much work to lead, I just wanted to play the game, go back to just enjoying it. Uh, its guest gaming had offered to uh, merge if he asked if we had wanted to merge with them, and I had to respectfully decline because the team was not mine. We were leading it for the people who originally created it. Um, so when it just became too much work, Edna was the first person. It's guest gaming. I'm sorry, it's guest gaming is the first person I wanted to turn to, for a new home, and he welcomed myself and uh, some other players that wanted to follow with us with open arms.
It's
So
awesome.
shout out to It's Guest Gaming.
And guest, I mean, he has like how many clubs are in the whole guest gaming franchise?
I think there's 4 for sure, maybe 5 now.
Mm-hmm. Are you part of the main primary team or
Yes,
okay?
EMAG, Edna Mode and Guest.
And that, I mean, I remember when guest started, like back like in September, October, he was a fresh gun into the whole scene, but he made a big splash and he has a great popping community
Yes,
in his
I love
Discord.
I love his streams.
Hmm.
There's so much info in the team Discord.
Hmm.
He does a lot. Like I yeah. He does way more than I ever wanted to.
He's very resourceful. I mean,
Yeah, he's a
that's for
great
sure.
leader, great leader.
But I know before you were part of a different club, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then eventually, obviously, you're now with a guest. But you do have experience leading a club from before, and I guess like for people who want to lead a club or who have maybe struggling with club leadership, maybe you can give them some insight of what your experience was and what you could have done differently, or what you may have done, or what you did like that you were doing too.
Yeah, the only thing that I didn't like about it was, I mean, the situation we were in, it was pretty much only myself, like a dream, and one other co-leader. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just the 3 of us doing everything. So I was waking up every day at conquest start, and I was on the game all day,
Mm-hmm.
telling people where to hit and keeping an eye on everything. It's like, man, I'm waking up on Sunday at 7 o'clock in the morning and nobody's even on. Like, where's my team at? What's going on here? Like, is it was not fun. It really became more of a job than playing a game to have fun. So if anybody starting out wants to be a leader or wants to be in leadership, make sure you have help. That's the biggest tip I could give. So make sure you have help from people who actually want to help you. And that was my only gripe with like being the leader. Because it was too hard for the 3 of us. Recruiting sucked. Like, oh man,
Yes.
I couldn't recruit for the life of me. So it was get help. Biggest tip.
Because I mean, I've seen that too. Because like my club, I was like, why is there like 10 co-leaders? And then you kind of think about it, it's like if you have like just one person just focusing on recruiting, one person focusing on club conquest, one person just focusing on getting the team ready for raids, one person checking up on the rosters and whatnot, and it makes it a lot easier because yes, it's a it is a video game. I understand that you should have fun, but when you're in a competitive club, yes, there's no like monetary rewards or anything like that, but people do take it seriously, and they want to get their characters and their teams up there. So there's that, and also just leading the club in general. It's not as easy as everyone thinks, and exactly what Pep said. That's a big important thing. You might look at a club and be like, why is there like 10 different co-leads and the leader,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. It's not as easy as it looks, and when you have that support, it definitely makes it easier. um
Yeah, I didn't. Uh, we were in the not the main club,
mhm.
but the one below it, and they they uh they asked us to move up to the main club, which was Club 33, and they just gave us the leader spots. It's like, okay,
They're just like, here
what do
you
we do
go.
now? Yeah, so it's like, all right, well, I mean, I'll do the best I can. So it was me and Leica, running around like chickens with our heads cut off. And we had all our other friends with us who we, played other games with and everything. And at the end, when, we actually did leave to go to guest, none of our other friends were playing the game anymore. They were
Oh.
just done with DSA. They weren't happy with it.
Hmm.
They thought it was too pay to play and all this stuff. So like that kind of contributed to us, you know, leaving and not being happy with the leadership situation and stuff. So
I see. So I mean, there's also that can happen, guys. So
yeah, be
be
careful. Be careful.
remember, who you start out with in this game is not who you're gonna end up with a year or two later. Clubs and people change all the time, so you can make friends, but game wise, they may not always be there for you forever. Um, but just like, you know, friends and people in clubs, new characters come into the game and new factions get stronger, some get weaker. And I guess my question for you is, who are you currently farming at this moment?
Right now, I'm trying to finish my Hercules team to seven
Nice.
star.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to. I was lucky and I saved all my Olay gems.
Nice, nice.
So when the Hercules event came out, I had 85,000 ready to spend.
Ooh, boy.
So I ended up using 40,000,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my Herc to 6 stars.
It's good.
So that was a really big help, really big help.
For sure.
But yeah, so now I'm farming. I gotta finish them so I can get Herc to 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'll probably switch my focus to getting Mickey to 7 star.
Mm-hmm.
So I did just unlock him this time
Congrats.
around. So that's my farming is set for a while.
You have a good farming path for a while, which is good. And I guess a follow-up question to that is, are you more of a collector or are you more like a fishing? And I guess like to clarify this, a collector is like they just want every freaking character out there. You know, they don't care if it's like I just want Dash even though he's like, you know, level 1, gear tier 1, no like star level 2 or 3, whatever his unlock is. Or are you like an efficient player? Like I only want like maybe, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 characters, but I want them decked out. Like what do you classify yourself as and
I would
why?
classify myself as an efficient player
Mm-hmm.
just because I'm used to these collector type games where it pays to be efficient,
Oh
save your
yeah.
resources, and you know, so I was already came into the game aware of that,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say it's helped me a lot because I always hear everybody talking about I don't have enough gold, I don't have enough runes,
Yep.
right? And then I go look at my pile and I'm like, okay, I think I'm sitting at 10 mil gold right now,
Go.
just sitting there.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. So, and then I have, I never use my betas, never use my betas unless it's for a legendary character.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to hoard.
The horror.
I like to hoard. But yeah, definitely classify myself as an efficient type player.
Do you have like a passion project, like a character that may not be meta or legendary that you just would love to farm if you know that could be your passion project?
I like Sergeant Calhoun.
Sergeant Calhoun, is that like is
Yeah,
Wreck-It
like
Ralph
no,
like your favorite movie?
no. I just like Sergeant Calhoun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at her the other day. It's like, man, that's a pretty good character. I wish I had
Mm-hmm.
like the time and the resources available to me to actually like just get her up.
For sure.
That Gizmo Duck would be another one.
Yeah, if you guys don't remember, Gizmo, like when he came out, he had the spotlight for a week, and then Baymax just came in, and everyone forgot about Gizmo. Basically, it was kind of sad.
Yeah, I have a big theory about that. When Hero came out, and then the Gizmo Duck team came out.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was Hero came out, Gizmo Duck came out, and then uh, the BH6 team came out.
Yep.
So when I saw Miguel come out by himself, I'm like, "Oh, are they doing this all over again?" So I was hoping that Miguel came out, then Hercules came out. I was hoping they're gonna pop out with the Coco team next.
You never know.
Just yeah, I mean, it's just a hope.
It's just
But that's another reason why I saved all my Olay gems. I was hoping for like a legendary on the Coco team.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a legendary. I mean, I can see like obviously Miguel is not going to be legendary, but you know
Hero wasn't either though, so I'm
exactly
cool with that. Yeah,
so I'm
maybe
thinking
like a legendary Pepita. That would be awesome,
that I think that's the biggest wish for everyone that, that you know Pepita
right?
becomes the legendary just because she's I mean is such an iconic character from a very new movie. I mean Coco's
Yeah,
only like 3 years old, and it's definitely made its staple you know in many people's you know film libraries at this point
definitely.
because I watched it yesterday and for just out of the blue and I was like man this movie's really good. It is really good. I'm not gonna lie, and the music and everything is just amazing. So just to get Miguel is cool. I wish he was farmable because right now he really is only pay to win or pay to play.
Yeah, well, that's how Hero was in the beginning too. So
True, he wasn't farmable. Mm-mm.
yeah, you had to buy his packs,
Exactly, and
and he had that little mini event for himself also, right?
yeah, and I remember it came back because those events I thought were always weird. Like for him specifically, like well he's farmable now, and then they still brought it back for some reason. Like late last year, was it early this year? I can't remember. I think it was late last year. Um, and I was like, but he's already farmable. It would be like having like a Gizmo Duck, and him being farmable with having events. Like that doesn't make much sense, but you know, I guess like for newer people, like it's kind of a boost to them if they have like their Big Hero 6 team up and coming. It's kind of a little boost to get their hero up as well. So for new people, guys, that's another trophy too if you guys want it. So it's a fun one as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been balling out on Miguel a little bit too. He's already at 6 star, so if he does get his team, I'll be ready.
yeah, I think like my guess is after like this, you know, Sensational Six, it's gonna be Elsa and then Big Hero 6. I think it's gonna be a full on rotation now that we have enough, I think, legendaries to kind of keep us in check basically. So that's my guess in the coming months or so. But you know, we're still talking about characters, and we were talking about this before stream a little bit, but um who would you like to come into the game? Like which it doesn't have to be one. It could be you know, just like maybe a handful of specific characters you want coming to the game.
Coming to the game, my first thing that I want, I know a lot of people would agree with me. Uh, give us Maleficent already, please.
Yes.
Please give us Maleficent already. You know, you can throw in Zeus if you want,
hmm
but for sure Maleficent. Um, Characters that are not even in the game yet: Roger Rabbit team, Jessica Rabbit. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a sucker for a redhead. So
Scorch, you hear that? No, just kidding.
I would definitely love a full Roger Rabbit team.
hmm
Um,
Totally.
Man, there's I can go on for days, really.
Let's just take these two
Yeah,
Maleficent.
yeah. The rest of the Rescue Rangers,
Oh,
that would be
dude,
really cool, right?
I would totally
Yeah.
love that.
The rest of the Rescue Rangers, for sure. The Coco team, I would love a full Coco team.
hmm
Um, well, Launchpad. What about Launchpad?
Launchpad.
Yeah, from
Oh, from
he was the pilot, Scrooge's pilot,
oh, okay. I'm.
right? Was he their uncle? Huey, Dewey, and Lou? No, he wasn't their uncle, right?
Is it?
He was also
I
he was
can't
also friends
remember.
with Gizmo Duck, right? He used to go on, he used to pop out on Darkwing Duck once in a while.
Is I think like I think you're I think I know who you're talking about. I just can't like remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, he always crashes.
He
He
always
can't.
crashes.
He knows how to fly, but he can't land.
Is
He
it the
always
uncle with
crashes.
the glasses?
No, he has like a pilot's hat on.
Okay. I don't think I know this one. Unfortunately, my Disney knowledge is not kicking
You
in
have
right
to
now.
look him up. Look him up. Yeah, Launchpad.
For sure. But yeah, I mean like look at Maleficent, you know, that's been locked obviously since launch. And Yokai was too, Maui was too, Stitch was too. And looking at Zeus, I was kind of surprised they didn't put him in with, you know, the Hercules team. It just kind of
I was too. I was
Yeah.
really sad that they didn't put him in because the fact that they didn't put him in was just a for sure. Hey, okay, we're not gonna get Maleficent anytime soon either. Then, like,
Yeah.
if they're not Zerg or not Zerg, Zeus. If he, it's the Hercules. His movie is there, and they didn't put him out. Like, yeah, we're probably not gonna get Maleficent anytime soon either.
Exactly, and it's kind of unfortunate because, I would love to have them in the game since they've been there since launch and they've been sitting there, and they actually have their kits are still from the beta of the game,
Yeah,
which is
I've
kind
been
of
staring at
interesting.
them since beta. It's like, give it to us already.
And yeah, I agree. It's been way too long, and I I think like they could have put not Hercules, Zeus instead of like Hermes, or Zeus instead of Pain and Panic. At least how we know how the characters work now. Zeus could definitely take over Hermes, because Hermes is,
Yeah, Hermes doesn't do too much for me.
yeah.
He
So,
gives haste, and it's like,
and I think
okay,
I think Zeus actually in his original kit has some type of speed mechanic. I could be wrong, but it would have made more sense to have him, take that spot. And the other characters talking about Jessica Rabbit. I mean, so many people that I've talked to would definitely wail or fail for that character. And
yeah. I don't care if she only has a basic
I just
G8
wanted
7 stars the first day.
that Glue would make so much money, and we know that. And the Coco team, uh,
Don't judge me, people. I'm sorry.
and that Coco team with Miguel just sitting there. I think it would give the Mythicals faction, a big boost. But my only fear is gonna become like Big Hero 6, where Hero really only boosts, like super boosts, the Big Hero 6 team. He's a good support lead, don't get me wrong, but his lead really only supports that Big Hero 6 team the most, and then tech team. But there's only so many good tech team characters besides Big Hero 6. So I'm hoping with Miguel's lead in that team, it just doesn't focus on the Coco team. Maybe it spreads out, other teams. But Herc by himself, I mean, he truly is a god, um,
Yeah.
in the
Oh
way he
man,
works. If you haven't faced him,
Hercules.
guys.
Hercules has changed the game for me. Like,
Oh yeah.
dude, like crazy.
Hmm.
Like, I can't even think of words. Like, I hated PvP before I got Hercules.
Hmm.
Now I'm like doing 10, 15 PvP battles a day, no problem,
Because of
without
Herc.
even trying. Like, dude, I love it. You know, shout out to Olay. Thank you guys.
And he was definitely a great addition to the game. And you know I know a lot of people are grumbling about him. I just hope the grumbling kind of calms down, because of course when there's something new, it's not going to be perfect, and they are doing a lot of bug fixes coming to the game. And Hades has also made a big re-emergence. I've actually seen him gear tiered 8 offensive stone in Source Tournament, and he's made a pretty good splash into that scene. So kind of cool to see that old guard of DSA kind of come back into some type of relevance in the game.
Yeah, Hades was really really fun, and a lot of people wanted him
Yeah,
during beta. So it's good to see, like you said, the old guard coming back, being relevant again.
exactly. And I guess like my other wish, like for old guard, would be the Aladdin team to come back and be a powerful might, because
Man,
that
I
team was pretty good back then.
the Kingdom team, man. Yeah, we had some words. I did not like them. I
Hmm.
did. They would when I first got when Frozen first came out. It was my first attempt at whaling, so I spent a lot of money to unlock Elsa to 5 stars right away,
Hmm.
and I was just sad because Shan Yu, Aladdin, and Jasmine, they were whooping my booty. I'm like, "Oh, but I have a legendary character. I'm supposed to win." Nope, Kingdom's too fast. Sorry. Before Raja got his buff, they were still annoying.
Oh yeah.
Even more annoying after the Raja buff.
And like if you look at their gear, like their, I think it's their gear 7 or gear 8 ability, when they got the fourth ability upgrades, there's a lot of like additional assisting. And I remember like I was thinking about it, and like once you activated those, it could do some good stuff if you had those guys leveled up pretty high.
Yeah,
uh
they evade like crazy.
oh yeah. And
Yeah.
they were, I mean, if when you look at their kit and stuff back then, they were good. I still think they would be good if they had like a speed advantage. You know, they're lacking a little bit in damage, but you never know. Gear tier 8, because I don't know many people that have a gear tier 8 Jasmine and Aladdin and actually use them. I know people have gear tier 8 Shan Yu because like they like to run like Beast, Belle, and Sheriff, and like Robin Hood, for instance. But not too many of like the old Aladdin characters, unfortunately.
Yeah, what's up with not being able to get your VAR maxed out?
I know, dude. Jafar, like, if for those who don't know, the Cave of Wonders event, when you finish the event, you actually don't get Jafar to 7 stars. You only get him to 6 stars, which doesn't make any freaking sense. So they make you buy a pack.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know that, I think that's what Pep's was talking about.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I didn't go crazy for Kingdom Team.
Yeah, and but you do get, I think, a level 2 foul play, which I don't even know what level 2 does, but there's
Man, foul play was so awesome.
back then.
Yeah, when it used to cleanse taunt.
It
Or
did like
not
way back
cleanse,
then.
it used to do it too. Yeah,
Well, I didn't
yeah,
really know that.
yeah. That was the main thing. It was foul play and barley.
I see.
They were the ones that you would need to take the taunt away.
Hmm.
Especially, they were super crucial when Raja got his buff, because Raja was just a pain to get rid of after he got, put on the field. Before it was just, hit that spell, hit him with Iago, and it's fine. You can go about your business. But once they nerfed Iago, it was like, oh, why?
And Glue's done that many times with like literally every single spell. The most recent victim being Fairy Slumber. Um,
Yeah, a lot of people that started the game with me
mhm.
have left because of, the spell nerfs and all the nerfs in general. It's like, man,
Because it does, like, for me, it doesn't make much sense why they nerf like some of the spells, because I don't know, I kind of like that I guess quote unquote OP aspects of some of the the game, the characters and parts of the game, because once you nerf one, something else gonna pop up as the number one, and once you're gonna nerf that one, it just becomes a never ending cycle. But if they're all quote unquote OP, then there's really nothing to nerf because they're all pretty viable. But at this point, we have, I would say, baby versions of those spells at this point, and none of them truly stand out. And
yeah,
some people even say that when they quote unquote nerfed Golden Hammer, it actually kind of buffed it because you can only do it once, and I feel that's kind of like a buff, not really a nerf. If you can get that idea popping through your guys' head.
well, yeah, I think after they did the hammer one, you revive with a lot more health, don't you?
And I think that was the caveat. Like, you can only do it
Yeah.
once, but I think you get more. And especially like if you use it with like Downtown Heroes team, which is like half this game, you like, I mean, everyone gets a little bonus there with that
Yeah, I think they need
spell.
to add some more spells too.
Yeah. I mean, in the fireside chat, the thing they did with Cozy with the devs and stuff, they were talking about that, adding spells. And I think their main focus for spells is going to be like things from films that can't be like characters, for instance, like Grandma
Like,
Tala, for instance.
yeah.
Grandma Tala could be a character, but it was in Toy Soldiers. They could be a character, but they're not. And a lot of them are going to focus also like on like stuff from the theme parks, like Space Mountain. I think they were talking about that. And like,
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be cool.
yeah, like they're
The teacups.
exactly like stuff like that that can't be characters. They're going to try and make them into spells. And they were discussing like they're going to try and bring them into the game hopefully in the near future, but only time
It's
will
a
tell.
small world.
It's, yes, exactly. I actually think like they could bring in like a handful of the characters from It's a Small World, have like a 5 character team or something like that. I think it'd be pretty freaking cool.
Right.
Or they could do like a polymorph where like they make every like a character small and the only
Ah,
type of thing. Just
that would be a really cool spell.
yeah, and they do like maybe they
Like the
go
full-on team polymorph,
yeah, something like that. A full on team polymorph, or maybe like
like all at once, because the clock tower uh
Clock Tower is
changes, but that's one at a time, right?
one at a time. Like once the
Like on your
turn,
turn.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
a little different. But I mean, since we're already talking about this and this type of thing where we're trying to thinking of other things coming to the game, what are you trying to see and expecting to see in this month of March,
Expecting? I don't know.
or hoping?
I, yeah, I can't really expect anything. I don't want to get my hopes up, but hoping my main thing that I'm hoping for is some sort of balance. Like let's kick it off somehow. Maybe an announcement. I would settle for that, but just I really really want the balance. I want to be able to work on Calhoun on the side, or the other fun characters, but maybe not like the best characters like we were talking about earlier. I'd like to be able to work on that, or even like my Kingdom team, my Aladdin and Jasmine. They're only
Yes.
5-star gear tier 5. I'd love to get Aladdin and Jasmine, on the side without affecting my normal farming, taking away from my Hercules farming and stuff like that. So I would really like some balance. Give us a way to acquire more runes and gold and gear and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, with the whole anniversary coming up too, I think they're kind of starting to kick that off with like you saw like the whole sorcerers tournament leaderboard thing.
Yeah,
Um, I can already see some loopholes there that people could do with communicating within your sorcerer's shard. Like okay, I'll give you these wins, you give me these wins, and we're all good because I get my points type of thing.
yeah.
Because there's definitely there's a lot of gammas that are given. Anything above like 50 gammas I get excited about. But
Oh
when
yeah.
does it ever happen? Very rarely. Speed stones was also a big one they gave out, and a lot of betas. I think number one was like, I think 200 betas, something like that, which is actually a lot of betas to
Yeah.
just give out like that, which I'm pretty happy about. But have you looked into the whole sorcerers tournament leaderboard thing yet, or?
No, not yet. I've never been one to strive to be, you know, the top spot, or I got to be the best. I've just always really focused on how I'm gonna make my experience more fun for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, being number one or that sort of thing usually involves a little bit of wailing. So
True. And
I
we'll
like
be
to,
honest.
yeah, I like to do as much as I can without having to spend money.
Yeah.
I think it helps. I enjoy the game more that way. Like, hey, I put some time and effort, and this is what I have to show for it now. Instead of, oh, hey, I'm beating everybody because I spent $1,000.
It's true. And
Yeah,
I don't want to rip into the whales, but um, like Sky and I have noticed this too. Like a lot of people who do whale out, they do whale out, but they may not have the best game knowledge.
yeah,
Like they,
yeah,
they don't know how to use what they have. But then those who maybe they're more free to play, or maybe like a semi free to play, or just very guppy, like spending like only the very bare necessity type of spending. They'll have like maybe a handful of decked out characters, but they damn know well how to use those characters, and they
yeah.
could beat your gear tier 8 whatever, because they just know how to properly use their characters and whatnot. So there's also those type of players too who really know what they're doing, but they just don't want to either spend or just have the monetary funds to do it, which I think is I love those guys because they're scrummy and they know what to do.
Yeah, I learn a lot from those type of players. Those are the type of players that I like to pick their brains and
Oh yeah.
you know I think if you play like that and you do well, you get a lot more back. You know, you get a lot more for your money. It's not just, I'm whaling just to have everything. It's like, well, I'm whaling for a purpose, kind of.
You and I are kind of like approaching this part of the game because we were talking about legendaries a little bit earlier. Like, I'm about to I'm making it to 7 stars, and once I'm done with that, I have my Hercules team. They're all 6 star. I just need to get them to 7 stars. After that, at least like for the next month or two, as long as there's no new legendary, I'm kind of free to farm who I want to. I don't really plan on really spending, to be honest, much, because for me, I'm more of a legendary chaser and collector, but I also like to think I'm efficient. So I'm gonna like
Yeah.
try and like focus that energy towards other parts of the game, like maybe more focusing on gearing up. Obviously, is one big thing. But what are your thoughts? Because I know you're kind of getting toward that where I think you have most of the legendaries, and you're about to finish those guys off too.
Yeah, same for me. I can't wait, to finish them
Mm-hmm.
and actually have some free time to work on, all that side stuff we've been loving. But
True.
from what I've been noticing is every time I do try to do that, another team comes out before I
Yeah.
could even, think about, working on my side stuff again. So that was one of the big reasons why I saved my Olay gems. Because, I mean, I wasn't expecting Hercules. I wasn't waiting for the Hercules team. I was waiting for the Coco team. I was hoping, Miguel was going to come out and then the Coco team would come out and we'd get our legendary and I'd use all my stuff on that. But, it didn't work out that way. Uh, but I was ready for it. I was ready for it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so from what I've noticed is just I don't think we're gonna have time to do that. I really think they're gonna put out another team.
That's unfortunately probably true. Not gonna lie, because like I would thought like it was gonna be Beauty and the Beast, Sensational Six, and Hercules, but they kind of flipped the script. That Beauty and the Beast snuck in Hercules and then Sensational Six. Kind of makes you
Yeah,
think because Sensational Six, I just feel like that was a failed release. You know how they did it. I don't think
yeah.
they're
It was back to back like legendary stuff. Like
exactly. And I don't think Sensational Six Part 1 was supposed to happen. I just think they didn't know what to do. They didn't have an event ready. Like it was maybe, let's just say there was supposed to be an event for Maleficent. Let's just say that, for instance, or like just
yeah,
a different character, not necessarily a legendary, like maybe like a Mother Gothel event in like October or something like that. Because if you guys remember, for the newer players, October September was a very dry time for DSA. Like you guys don't understand, there was actually like no content really at that point. Like there's really no new characters. They said October was going to be the month of villains. They even advertised that, and no villains dropped in October. There was a dry spell in DSA at one point, but then after that, November through like February was like just a waterfall of just characters and content and stuff, and kind of drove people away because it felt like it was too much.
yeah. All at once. It was definitely overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And right now it's kind of, I don't want to say it's slowed down, but I think I would say kind of like how the MCU has like phase one was Iron Man, stuff like that. I think they
Yeah,
just finished off with maybe one major phase of their content drops, and well, we'll have to wait and see, of course, but it just feels
yeah,
like they've kind of just slowed down a bit. Granted, they have just dropped those source tournament leaderboard things, and also the anniversary is coming up, so I have to wait and see for that. But it doesn't feel like the madness that was November when it was raids. Then literally the next week was Beast. I mean, I don't know if you remember
yeah.
that, but it was pretty freaking crazy way back then. But looking, in your past again, but this is for the new players. What are your tips and advice for new players for like what mistakes you made or what choices would you have made differently, knowing what you know now?
Um, when I started the game, I came into it with a little knowledge of the the whole collector game stuff. So I really didn't make too many mistakes. Um, but the biggest tips I can give for new players is use your resources wisely. Like
Absolutely.
I, I can't stress enough on that. Your Save your runes. Uh, use your gold sparingly. Don't just level up a new character you unlocked just because you have to be really efficient in this game because we don't have the balance that I've been hoping for yet. Um, but yeah, biggest tip is be efficient with your resources and find yourself a really good club that fits your playstyle. Clubs are really important in this game. They're going to help you get a lot of those resources that I've been emphasizing to save. So a really good club's going to help you with that, and just try to keep the game fun for yourself, whatever that may be. However your play style is, you know, focus on that. Just keep the game fun, and yeah, those are my tips.
No, I mean those are good tips because resources, people can get lost with, especially now with the amount of characters are. Because when you and I started, I think when I started there wasn't even 70 characters in the game. And I think when you started there was like 65-ish around there,
Shoot, I don't remember.
somewhere around there. But we had the advantage where the game was brand new and there wasn't too many characters. Now you guys have like 40 more characters than we did when we started, maybe even 50.
Yeah. And it was
Uh,
hard when we started,
yeah,
so now there's even more characters.
you guys can easily get distracted, honestly. I mean, and there's like 5 legendaries. You guys can easily get distracted. So definitely what Pep said. You guys got to be very resourceful, especially for the free to play people. You guys especially have to be
Right.
very resourceful and really, really only do spend on the characters that really do need it. And I guess another tip I'll give you guys is, because I've realized this too, really identify what you guys want to do. Are you guys going to focus more like on PvP,
Yeah.
raids, club conquest, sorcerer's tournament? Find your niche or your niche, and then farm the specific characters out there for those specific game modes, because I think that's going to be the biggest help for you guys too. So that just came up into my mind too right now. So
Focus on one thing, take care of that one thing,
hmm,
and stick to it.
exactly. And more tips for other people, but since you are a Twitch streamer, what tips and advice do you have for new content creators who are trying to get into streaming on Twitch or YouTube, and give like a little, I guess, like, tell us a little about your community and your viewers, and how they all interact with you and what they're like.
Okay, so first, tips for new streamers. I know everybody says this, but it's because it's really important. You got to be consistent.
Yes.
If you want to have if you want to build a community, you got to show up. You got to have a place for those people to come and hang out. You got to be on when you say you're going to be on. And if you're consistent, then you'll build a community really fast. Once people know, hey, I'm off work, this guy's on, they're gonna keep coming back if they like what they see. But if you're not consistent, they're gonna come home from work, they're gonna look for you, 3 times you're not on. I'm not looking for this guy anymore. Like, oh, whatever. Like, they're just gonna go to the next streamer. Um, that being said, I have grown a great community. I've been streaming for, it was my 3-year stream anniversary,
Holy
February
crap.
11th. Yeah,
I didn't
so
realize that long. Congratulations, dude.
yeah, it's been a long time. Time flies. But yeah, when I started streaming, started streaming another game called War Dragons, and I streamed that game 6 days a week, 4 hours a day.
Wow.
Like yeah, it it was really fun for me. It did not feel like a job at all. Um, and being on that much and being on when I said I was going to be on helped me build the community I have now. I mean, granted, I don't have, you know, 100 people in my streams every day or anything like that, but the people that do show up, they're, they're loyal, and they're my, like I can count on them too. Like
Hmm.
I know I'm gonna get on stream and I'm gonna have fun with my friends,
Yeah.
and like I can count on them to be there too. It's not like I'm just gonna stream today and then nobody shows up and then I'm sitting here 3 hours later like, what I even stream for? Like,
Hmm.
streaming is super boring when you're all by your lonesome.
Facts.
So having that community, building that strong bond with the viewers is very, very crucial to streaming.
And what is your streaming schedule nowadays?
Nowadays I stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 1 p.m. Pacific to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So I start off with DSAs. So from 1 o'clock to about 3 o'clock, I play DSA, and then after that, I play MSF. And then once in a while, I'll throw in some Among Us, or I'll try a new game out or something like that. So, but for sure, every day I play. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I play DSA and MSF.
How do you feel about DSA currently, and what are your hopes for the game in terms of longevity in the next couple years?
As far as longevity goes, I mean it's Disney. This game can go on forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They've got plenty of characters in the bag that they can throw out.
IP is enormous.
Yeah. So as far as longevity goes, like I'm expecting the game to be around for a while, for sure. Things I like about it, it's just it's it's everything I like about games. It doesn't take up too much of my time.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy the time that I do spend. If I want to be on DSA all day, I can.
Yeah.
I can PvP. I can do other stuff. And at the same time, if I'm gonna be really busy one day, I can do everything I need to do in a certain amount of time and just go on with my day after that. So it really suits my needs as far as games go.
Yeah, because like I totally agree. Because DSA, you can it can be where it only takes like maybe 5-10 minutes out of your day, really. Maybe 20. That's probably better. But it can also take like an hour or so if there's like a raid or something like that. It can definitely take a significant more amount of time. But like talking about like longevity, have you heard of Disney Mirrorverse? Or no, I think
Yeah,
Battle. Sorry, no, the Battle Hero or something like that. I forgot the other one. There's another one.
I've never heard the battle one. I've heard of the mirror one.
The Mirror one's
And
pretty cool. I've seen that one.
the trailer looked really cool.
Yeah. And graphics are
Yeah,
like pretty interesting too, like the way they make the characters. Um
yeah.
but the Battle Heroes, I think is what it's called. Um it's like only 5 stars is the max there. But the reason why I bring it up is because we're talking about longevity and like IP and stuff like that. And they actually brought in Hermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog. I think Miss Piggy's in that game, so you guys never know. Yeah, they're in the game, if I'm
Hey,
correct.
is that now or what?
I don't think it's all the Muppets, but I know Kermit was just added, and I think I saw some other Muppets characters. I think like Mrs. Piggy in the game. So DSA Glue, come on guys, let's get our act together. Let's add the Muppets to the game.
Got me thinking because that's Jim Henson stuff.
Yeah,
So, are you familiar with Jim Henson's work?
yeah, he did the Muppets in Sesame Street.
Did you ever see his movie The Dark Crystal?
No, I did not. Uh,
Watch it. Go
is
watch it.
is he? Did he also do Elf?
Oh
No,
shoot, I don't remember.
I'm just thinking like anything that kind of looks like a Muppet. I just kind of think like
Jim Henson did that.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, yeah, man, possibility.
Pinocchio, too. Yeah, you did Pinocchio, right?
All the way back in the 40s, he did Pinocchio.
I really liked the Dark Crystal. Once again, something else like a dream showed me and got me addicted to. Um, but yeah, I was sad because uh, they did like a prequel to it on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and they announced that they're not going to do it anymore. So they only
Oh,
had like one season out. But if Disney's taken over, then maybe they'll put it on. Maybe they'll restart it again and put it on Disney Plus.
you never know.
Yeah, it'd be
Because
really cool.
I mean, have you seen WandaVision?
No, I haven't. Don't
No,
no spoilers.
no
Not
spoilers.
yet. I'm waiting for it to finish, and then I'm just gonna binge it all.
Oh no, it's finished. It's finished already.
Yeah.
So
So when I have the time, I'll start episode 1 and start binging. I think my brother wanted to watch it, so I'll wait till he has some time and we'll start together.
all 9 episodes, but apparently, like the way they did it, and I don't know what's gonna happen with Dark Crystal, but like they just kind of, it's only supposed to be like one season, and they're supposed to like curtail it to like a different Marvel character or something like that. So I don't exactly know the game plan they have, but that's what someone told me in my stream about that. So I was like, man,
Oh,
I miss the days where you had like 9 season shows and 10 season shows, and now that's just like 1, 2, 3 seasons on like Netflix or something like that, and it's just
yeah,
like, come
with
on,
everybody
guys.
being home because of the pandemic and stuff, like there's a lot of the streaming services are just pumping out content.
Yeah, and like if you haven't been looking at Disney Plus, they have like they're already advertising like I think like the Winter Soldier and the other one and Falcon. So I think that's the next series that's supposed to take our attention for at least 2 months. Yeah, they have it all set up, man. Those guys are smart to keep us hooked.
Yeah, yeah, they know how to make money. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. And I guess like our final question here is going to be what are your goals for your account for looking into spring, the next season of the year, next 3 months?
My goals is to finish my Hercules team, uh, finish the Mickey team, and just be ready for whatever comes next. So that's my goal is for save up some resources, uh, finish what I'm doing now, and be 100% ready for maybe a Coco team or a Roger Rabbit team, and
Hell
just
yeah.
just be ready right away to get all that stuff. Unlock the characters, have them usable, and you know enjoy it.
I'd totally be pumped for that. I'm like whenever you bring up the Roger Rabbit team, I'm just so pumped for that. But
Right? I think everybody wants that.
I think sometimes it's one of the forgotten, I don't want to say it's a forgotten movie, but as time goes on, there's like those films that one generation remembers and the next one has no clue it exists. And I
Yeah.
think like I kind of fall into that category because I didn't really grow up watching Roger Rabbit too much at all. I didn't watch it until I was an adult, basically. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that newer kids don't really know what Roger Rabbit is in the movie. They may just know the ride from Disneyland, and that's about it. Yeah, that's Pep's my DSA journey. And Pep, have anything to say to the peeps out there?
Always remember this, guys. At the end of the day, it's just a video game, right? It's just a video game. Play the game how you want to play it. Everybody can give you as much advice and, say you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong. But at the end of the day, it's your game, it's your gaming experience. You got to play the game how you're going to have fun and, you know, focus on that.
I totally agree. Because I think sometimes, especially like me, and like we get so caught up in like legendaries and like giving the best advice possible and meta and stuff like that
Yeah.
that when someone tells us, you know, oh, I don't like going meta, I like going, you know, I like going against the meta, and then we just kind of look at it like, well, then it's going to be difficult. But you got to remember, and I followed this, and I mean, I've had this problem too when giving advice too, is only giving like meta type of advice. But you can always curtail advice as well. If someone wants to do like, I guess, like an off meta team, you know, support them. You know, even if deep down inside you think that's, you know, not the best move, support that person, because just like Pep said, it's just a game, and it's their game too. It's not just your game; it's their game, and if they want to play it a certain way, let them play it a certain way. It's not going to bother you.
If they want to G8 their Yzma, then, you know,
Hi, man.
let them do it.
But yeah, Pep, it's honestly been a great conversation with you, bud. It was great getting to know you. Everyone, check out his stream. He's just such a cool cat when it comes to streaming. He's just, like I said, super, just exactly what we have here in this, you know, in this episode is exactly what you have in the stream, and he's just super chill. And I mean, the advice I mean, I've gone to Pep more for like MSF advice more than anything. And he's definitely helped me for sure, because I'm like, you know, totally clueless at MSF, and especially since I don't take it too seriously and I'm completely free to play there, he's definitely given me a lot of advice, you know, of what to go for and what to watch out for. So no, thank you for that, Pep. And guys, I hope to see you guys in the next episode, and remember, check out his link down below, and we will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Peace out, guys.
Bye, everybody.